we'll go ahead and get started with head coach Brian Kelly. Coach, would you like to make a statement or would you like to start with questions?
Yeah, a quick opening statement. Obviously I'm disappointed for our players. You don't come this far and not want to play your very best. And, hats off to Clemson as the ACC champs. They earned it today. They were the better team. They were much more consistent than we were today. And that's really the story. Consistency in performance. We did not have that consistency in performance that we've had all year. And some of it is who we played today. We played an outstanding football team. And because of it, we weren't as consistent as a football team as we've had been. So very disappointed for our guys. Love the way they battled in the second half. But again, we let the second quarter get away from us, and that was the difference in the game. So got a really good football team. There's no doubt this football team is one of the 4 best teams in the country, and we'll leave the rest up to the committee. So with that, we'll open it up to questions.
Brian, this is Eric Hansen from the South Bend Tribune. A couple of questions for you. One is, how were they able to flip the script on the running differential, rushing yardage? The second is, how do you pick up the pieces at this point, because you still have football left to play?
Yeah, again, I think, we've got to watch a little bit more of the film to really give you, an exact answer to the question. We came out, moved the ball pretty effectively on the first drive, mixed it up well. I think by and large we stalled out a number of our drives in the red zone, and that's a big part of this game, in particular in the first quarter, where we had some opportunities, but we couldn't finish off drives, missed a field goal, and then again got into a situation where we were in first down situations. We were not very good running the ball on first down. We had some negative yardage plays. So again, it's the nature of playing an opponent a second time. They're going to do some things. We're making some adjustments on the sideline, and again trying to get back to get a balance with running and throwing the football. Picking up the pieces, I think that's a bit, over the top. This is a strong football team, strong-willed. It's an outstanding football team. It's one of the best teams in the country. They'll bounce back. They're disappointed. They've got to play more consistent, and I'm quite confident that they will.
We'll go next to Pete Sampson.
Brian, I was curious if you had an update on Kyle Hamilton, and also if you could speak a little bit about what Clemson did to you guys in the past game with Amari Rodgers, trying to get some good favorable matchups, and just how critical that was to the second quarter swinging the game.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there were some favorable matchups. They're very, very talented, and I thought a couple of instances where they were able to, and Trevor Lawrence was able to use his eyes and get Kyle out of the middle of the field to open up some double moves and, some favorable matchups. They're very, very talented. He had time to throw. And again, they made the plays. Certainly, from our perspective, losing Hamilton in the second half, and certainly Nick wasn't available for us as well. You get a little thin back there, but the second quarter was the key, and not fitting a couple of the Q runs was certainly key as well. But I think by and large, within the passing game, second half, I thought we settled into a better routine. It was really the second quarter where he was able to get some one-on-one matchups, and then we made some adjustments.
We'll go next to Tim Prister.
Brian, 6 weeks ago, when Book would escape the pocket, he was able to run vertically. Today, it was more horizontally. What did they do to keep him so bottled up and moving, laterally as opposed to upfield?
Their ends were upfield. They were not rushing, quite as hard off the edge as you saw. They were much more in a contained mode to keep him from getting outside. And a nice job of minimizing his ability to get big chunk runs. So, trying to keep him at bay was obviously part of the game plan, and they did it by the way they rushed their front four, and then brought a little bit more pressure from inside out and flushed him out to ends that were not upfield. They were staying flat and to the level of the quarterback.
We'll go next to Dennis Dodd.
Brian, you talked about it a couple of times, but just make your case about, being in the playoff at this point.
Yeah, I mean, we've got 2 top 15 wins. We've got a win over this Clemson team that, was number 1 in the country. I don't know that anybody has a resume that has those 2 wins. And, we've played 11 games. I mean, that matters, playing 11 games, testing your team week in and week out. I think that in my mind, puts us as, without question, as one of the top 4 teams in the country.
We'll go next to David Hood.
Hey, Coach, we always talk about the difference that Trevor Lawrence makes throwing the football, but his ability to run tonight on the design runs, the RPOs, how much of that also made a difference in some of their offensive success?
Well, we talked about it after with the coaches. It's the difference maker. His ability to run really stresses your coverage calls. It stresses a lot of things that you do in terms of your fits and where, essentially you're trying to, get him to certainly not be that kind of player. And so what you're trying to do is bring some pressures that eliminate those runs, but it just opens up some one-on-one matchups that are not favorable. And so it's a dilemma, and it's something that we struggle with a little bit tonight.
We'll go next to Hayden Adams.
Hey, Coach. Just wondering, when it became apparent that your receivers were struggling to get open, did it ever, go through your mind to maybe make some personnel changes, maybe throw Joe Wilkins in there or something just to try and spice it up a little bit? And then my other thing is just why did it take so long to give Chris Tyree his first touch of the game? And, it seemed to work out pretty well when he did touch the ball.
Yeah, we didn't feel like our receivers were having a hard time getting open. This was much more about down and distance and coverage, right? We were in so many 3rd and long situations. When you drop more into coverage than you have out there, you could have 5 Jerry Rices out there. They're not getting open as readily. So, Chris Tyree's our back that we bring in when we feel like Kyron needs a breather, and he got in there and bounced the play out there, but he's in the rotation. And just like he did the last game we played, he broke off a 94, 96-yard run, but he's not the complete back that Kyron is yet, but he will be. He's a good back.
We'll go next to Andrea Adelson.
Ryan, as the committee is going to start taking a look at your resume and Texas A&M's resume and other teams that are going to be evaluating for the playoff, do you feel like you guys are closer to what we saw against Clemson in November or what we saw tonight?
Well, I think you look at a body of work in terms of what we've done all year. We played 11 games. We've beaten 2 top 15 teams. We We obviously lost to the number 3 ranked team in the country tonight. Wasn't our best effort, but consistently, when you play 11 games and you have, you know, a win over the number 1 team in the country, and then you win against an outstanding North Carolina team, I don't know that you need to look any further than that.
And we'll wrap it up with Patrick Engel.
Brian, what was your message to the offense, or what was going through your mind in the first couple of drives when you guys are moving the ball, but had some drives kind of sputter out there at the end?
Well, consistency and performance is going to be what's going to judge how this game finishes. And quite frankly, told them we've got to finish. We can't keep leaving points out here. And there's only so much you can do at that point. You've got to, continue to stay positive with the guys and continue to, look at ways to, get the ball in the end zone. And so it really doesn't do you much good to be over there yelling and screaming. They know what they need to do. They needed to finish off some drives. We didn't do it, but we're all in this together. We got to coach better, and our players got to make plays. And this when you have a great football team, which we do, it's about consistency and performance. And we were inconsistent today for the first time all year. We'll work hard in our preparation, and we'll get back to being more consistent.
All right, and we will end it there. Thank you very much, Coach.
Thank you.